Hi, welcome to class. Today we're going to be doing a beginner's yoga flow. It's perfect for anybody who's starting their yoga journey or coming back to their yoga practice. We're going to be starting on our backs. You are welcome to have a cushion or maybe a blanket over you for the beginning as we settle in. And if you have done some of my other videos, you'll probably know what settling in is like, and if it's something you struggle with, please take your time. You can even pause the video if you just want to try and settle in a little bit deeper than maybe I'm able to let you in the time that we have. So your feet should be in the corners of your mat, and you come back and your hands can come out beside you, or you could have the left hand to your heart, the right hand to your belly. Whatever is comfortable to you and helps you connect with your body. Allow the breath to flow freely through the body, coming in through the nose and feeling it go down into the feet, all the way down the spine, down past the hips. The breath is not only oxygen and other air coming in through your body, but it's the life force in which the body is made of. Without the breath, our body would not be alive. And just noticing the breath can be very influential for your body and the movements that you're about to do. We might use the word prana in yoga. That might be something that you find, or pranayama, which is the breathing techniques. And that is the life force of the breath coming in through the body, energizing the body, but it also can be a calming energy, and it can calm you down as you start the practice. So feeling maybe that energy coming in through your nose, or maybe it is just simply a breath that you feel coming in through the nose and into the lungs, into the belly, and back out through the nose. And we'll do a few sighs here. So breathing in through the nose, filling up the lungs, feeling the breath travel throughout the body. Inhaling and exhaling. We're going to push that air through the mouth in a sigh. Make it a vocal sigh. You're not in a class, you're by yourself. You're in a safe space. Try and really feel that sigh go throughout the body, allowing you to relax deeper into the mat. One more time. Feel the weight of the body come more towards the earth, the ground lifting you up. A gentle feeling on your eyes, not forcing the relaxation, but allowing it to happen naturally through the breath. Now if you want, you can remove the cushion. You can also keep it there if you just don't want your head on maybe a hard floor. And we're going to bring the knees towards the chest, the hands come to the knees. Just see how it feels. Maybe you feel a rock from side to side naturally. The lower spine is on the mat. Maybe it's quite intense on your tailbone, and you can put a little bit more weight onto the a little bit more weight onto the middle of your spine, and kind of feel a little bit more of an arch in your spine rather than a bend. And rock a little bit more side to side. Maybe they become bigger rocks. and then bring the right knee in. The left knee comes down to the mat. The left foot comes down to the mat. And then bring some circles into the right knee. Holding onto that right knee, not letting it go too far around. Just nice small circles to warm up the hip. In one direction, and then once you've done about 5, you can go the other direction. Just nice and slowly. And then find some stillness. Bend, straighten the leg at the knee. See how it feels. You might feel a few pops and cracks. It's completely fine. You might feel your hamstrings if they're quite tight. And then doing some ankle rolls. One direction, the toe is doing the circles, and then the ankle is actually the one doing the movement. But it's all led by the toe. Then the other direction. Bring that knee into the chest. Squeeze it into the chest. Feel a little bit of compression. Maybe you can lift your head. Feel the kind of alignment between your nose and your knee. Bring the foot down. Bring your left foot up and your left knee up to meet the chest. It doesn't have to be this close. It could be quite far away, as long as you're comfortable in your arms. If that's not something that's accessible, you could always have your hand on your thigh, the backs of your thigh. Then bring some movement into that knee. Breathe in and out. One circle, circles one direction, and then circles the other direction. And then the circles go into your ankle. And the other direction. Bend and straighten the leg. See how it feels. The hand could come down to the backs of the thighs here. Meet the feet together. Move the knees to one side of the mat, feeling a little twist in the spine. Really gentle, don't force them down. And then allow them to the other side. Your shoulders are completely on the floor still. Just a small spinal twist here. And keep the movement quite dynamic. You're not really stopping in place. You're just allowing your lower spine and the middle of your spine to kind of feel a little bit of a twist. Nothing crazy. Keeping it slow and controlled. We're then going to bring our right leg back up. And it's going to be in a kind of right angle shape. Your foot's then going to flex like you're pushing it into a wall, and your core is going to engage. You're then going to bring your left hand, your opposite hand to foot, up into the air. And I want you to have active fingers here. So opposite hand to leg is up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Tap the foot down. And then bring it back up with control. You can feel the lower abdominal muscles, your lower core muscles, working here. Bring that foot down again. Breathe in, bring it back up. So as you're breathing out, it comes down. As you're breathing in, it comes back up again. And then maybe this is something you want to explore. You might bring the hand down with the foot. See how many you can do. Roughly maybe try and do 5. But if you feel like you need a break, feel free to bring that foot down. Bring the hand down, bring the foot down. We're then going to bring the left leg up so it's parallel to the ceiling. The right hand's going to come up. And then just tap that left foot. And if you can't quite coordinate the breath, it's not a big deal. Just try and in your exhale, try and breathe out so you're really engaged in your core and you can kind of feel a lift of the muscles in your belly. And then maybe you start to involve the hand coming down straight behind you. It doesn't have to be this low with the hand, it just depends on your range of motion in your shoulder. And if you have that cushion behind your head, you might feel a support there when your hand comes down, which is really nice. One more. Bring the hand down, bring the foot down, take an inhale, exhale. Relax the feet back down to the corners of the mat. The hands come above the head and you just do a full body stretch. Stretch the fingers, stretch the feet as much as you can. Relax all the way down into a Shavasana. And then when you're ready, you can make your way up to hands and knees. And from here, you want your shoulders to be roughly over your wrists and your hips to be over your knees. If you find that your wrists can't take the weight of your upper body, I really recommend just bringing the hands forward a little bit and putting the weight a little bit further back onto your legs, because you might find that the legs are stronger than the upper body. Taking a breath here, a moment to just try and make that spine as straight as you can. Then dropping the belly down, your bum kind of lifts to the sky and you can bring your chest through the armpit space. Lift the chin a little bit. This is your cow pose. You're dropping your belly down. Kind of imagine udders, like in a cow, and then you can kind of think, you want those udders to hit the floor. Breathe in. Breathe out. Then we might come into a cat pose, and we're going to tilt the tailbone back down, arch the spine so it comes towards the sky, and tuck the chin, cat pose. So we're bringing that belly button up towards the spine. Breathing out, breathing in, tilt the tailbone up again, lift the chin slightly. And if this is a bit much on your knees, feel free to come into a seated position, and you can do the same movements in a seated position if you'd like to explore that. Just the tilt of the tailbone, the opening of the chest. Then from here, if you're on hands and knees, I want you to tuck the toes and just try and lift the knees off the floor, bring them back down again. Breathe in, breathe out, breathing in, breathing out. Lift the knees up in your exhale, bring it back down. Inhale. You could do that 2 more times if you'd like. And then bring the toes towards each other, bend the knees deeply, come into child's pose. If you'd like to, you can put a cushion under your thighs, in between your bum and your heels. Come back up to your all fours. This time we're going to tuck the toes, bring the knees up. Your bum's going to come towards your heels and the weight's going to shift into your feet. you're going to come up to a downward facing dog. If this is quite intense on the upper body, you could come into a wider downward facing dog and grip the sides of your mat. Try and think about bending the knees deeply and pushing through the shoulder blades. Come back down when you're ready. And move back up into your downward facing dog. Tuck the chin, maybe you're going to look towards your toes or your knees. Nice bend in the knees, and maybe you bend and straighten them, or you could come down, take a moment, then come back up again. Everybody coming down, back onto all fours. Make your way up to the top of the mat, and I just recommend doing it in your own way, so if you need to just take a moment, make your way to standing on the top of your mat. So coming to the top of our mat, we're going to come to having our four corners of our feet are completely comfortable on the mat. We're going to open out the palms, the chest beams forward, the shoulders all away from the ears. We feel a slight lift of our core muscles and a lift of our pelvic floor. The knees are ever so slightly bent, especially if you've got hypermobility. And you're letting the breath flow freely throughout the nose. Make adjustments where you'd like. The feet feel very planted on the floor, very grounded. Grounding is an experience in yoga that it's becoming more aware of in kind of mainstream culture, that you need to connect with the earth. And the first step is just becoming aware of how your feet feel, making sure each toe is on the floor, the balls of your feet are on the floor, and your arches are lifted away from the floor. Just explore how it feels rather than forcing a way of standing that is not comfortable with you. We're going to bring the hands to the waist. Dropping the bum towards the floor. You can feel a force between your knees, like you're squeezing a block between your knees. Come back up. This time, make sure that the gaze lifts up. Breathe in, breathe out, come down into your chair pose. Uttanasana. Come back up. Take a moment, come back down into your chair pose. See if you can drop a little bit lower. You're feeling your thighs, bring it back up again. Dropping back down, bum towards the floor. You should be able to look down and see that your knees are not over your toes. Come back up. One more time, breathing in, lifting the chin off the floor, lifting the chin away from the chest, opening up the chest. Breathe in, breathe out, come back up. This time we're going to go into it, and you're going to stay there for about 5 breaths. So if you feel like you need to come out of the posture, it just feels really intense, feel free to, but you could also try sticking around for that 5 breaths, thinking about your inhale and your exhale being really nice and long. Breathing in, breathing out, come down, breathing in. Just see how it feels for those 5 breaths. Let the breaths flow naturally. They might be quite strained as it is a hard posture on the legs. And then push on the feet, come back up to standing. Take a moment just to become aware of the strength in your legs. Oh no, my chair's on the outside of that chair, that's annoying. The next movements that we're going to explore is a standing balance, and if you have a table or a wall and you feel a bit more comfortable using a table or a wall rather than being in the middle of your mat, feel free to go near there. We're going to bring our feet so it's fully planted on the floor, just like when we were in Tadasana, but we're going to bring the weight onto our left foot. Hands onto the waist just for balance. They could also be out like this, or on a wall or chair, table, anything that's at about hip height. Your feet are gonna, your right foot's gonna lift up off the floor, and you're just gonna see how high you can go without any wobbles. Bring it back down, breathing in, bring that right foot up and a little bit forward, maybe point the toe, flex the toes, see how it feels, bring it back down, lift it back up, bring it back down. Now come to the side. Bring the toes to the side. The weight's going to shift on your foot a bit. Lift the toe, bring it back down. Lift the toe. Try and keep your body as upright as you can. Breathing in, breathing out. Now bring it behind you. Lift the toes up. Bring the toes back down. Lift the toes up. Bring them back down. One more time. Bring the toes up. Bring them back to your Tadasana. Then we're going to do it onto the other side. Bringing our awareness to the right foot as the weight shifts from the left foot to the right foot, making sure the toes are completely planted. Bring the toes up and back down again. Up and back down again. Just slight bend in the knee. Up and back down again. Bring them to the side. Up and back down again. Up and back down again. Trying to keep that body as upright as we can. Don't depend on the wall or chair, whatever you're using. Bring it back. Up and down. Up and down. Bring the feet somewhat together back into your Tadasana. Take a moment, just notice how the legs feel. And when you're ready, make your way onto your bum, onto the floor in a seated position. You are welcome to use a cushion to lift up your hips. This means that your back is going to be lifted up a bit more like you're sitting in a chair. Bring your left leg as straight as you can and your right leg bending. We're going to then bend the right leg open. Shoot this direction, so it's going to bend open as much as you can. You can bring your palm of your hand to the side of your knee and open it up. Breathing in, see if you can straighten the left leg as much as you can, and see if you can pull those toes towards your chest. Your spine is nice and straight, your shoulders are rolled away from your ears. See how it feels here. Maybe you can straighten that leg entirely, and maybe you can bring that knee a little bit close to the floor. Just see. Bring the knee back to center. Bring the right leg down, left leg comes up. See how straight you can get that right leg, but just don't force it if your hamstrings don't want to. Then bring the left leg out, opening up the hip. Breathe in and out. Try and flex those toes as much as you can on the right foot. Maybe you can straighten that right leg a little bit more if your hamstrings allow for it. Nice flat back. Bring the knee back up. Bring the feet so they're about hip distance apart. Your knees are still bent. You're going to bend towards the thighs. Tuck the chin as much as you can. Forward fold over the legs. Breathe in and out. Feel the weight of your body come down towards the thighs. When you're ready, lift back up. Take a breath in. And make your way to your back. You can have a cushion under your head. You could also have a blanket under your hips if that feels like it's needed. Maybe your tailbone felt a little bit, I don't want to say pointy. Maybe your tailbone just felt very connected to the ground and it was uncomfortable. You may want a blanket under your hips. Bring the head all the way down to the floor, and then we're going to bring the hands by our side. We're going to make sure that we engage the glutes at the top of this movement. So when I mean engage the glutes, I mean you want an ugly butt. You want it to be scrunched, you want it to be engaged. It's something that is a little bit silly, but actually makes a huge difference to your spine health. So breathing in, push with the feet, come up, push with the glutes, into the center line, come back down. Breathing in, breathing out, come up, come back down. Feel each part of your spine meet the floor. One more, come back up. Your weight's going to shift onto your shoulders. Come back down. Then begin to drop the feet down to the corners of your mat and come into your Shavasana. If you'd like to have a blanket over your legs, feel free to adjust yourself. Maybe add some socks, a jumper, whatever you feel comfortable, and open up your hands. Breathe in here, let it all go. Really think about your body becoming connected to the floor. You are completely grounded in this space, completely safe. Take an inhale, take an exhale. Nice and long. Feel the prana coming through your nose, just like at the beginning, and all the way down the center of your body, down to the toes. The life force weighing you down to the ground, to the earth. And then find a little bit of gratitude in the space, just saying thank you to yourself for being here, for making it on the mat. Thank you to your body for moving. And I thank you for being here. Roll onto your favourite side of your body when you're ready. Bring the knees to the chest. If you'd like to stay longer in your Shavasana, feel free to turn the video off. Rock onto one side and lift up to a seated position. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me sees the light in you, and I hope to see you again soon. Feel free to subscribe for more videos. I also have my Instagram linked below, as well as my website with blogs. I hope you enjoyed your class today, and I'll see you soon.